We live in a time where masculinity is shamed, and men don't know what it means to be a man. As a pastor and counselor, I've spent the better part of my life equipping and training others. My goal with this show is to translate my hard-earned experience into tools and tactics to help you become stronger as a man. This is the BraveCo podcast. I'm your host, Jason Bellet.
Welcome back to the BraveCo podcast. Guys, I'm excited to be with you this week. We are in the middle of our marriage series, and this week I'm going to talk about becoming the anchor. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, marriage. It is, just because it's something that I work on every single day in my own life, but also I'm often helping men build better, stronger, healthier families, upping their game in their marriage. And just yesterday, I was meeting with a couple in a marriage counseling appointment. They have a tough marriage, and my favorite thing is to help couples learn how to build a strong, healthy marriage. So I really am stoked about this series that we're doing, and today may be one of the most important conversations that we have, because I'm going to talk about becoming the anchor. And every man, I think, in a relationship in the beginning, it's the excitement of being in a relationship. It gives you this really clear target, right? Like when you're in a dating relationship, it's so set up for the man because we love to aim. Like men were designed to aim. We're designed to try to put a golf ball in a hole. We're designed to try to put a basketball in the hoop, throw a football to a receiver, right? Shoot something out of the sky, hit something with the target, right? Bow and arrow. We were just designed to aim, and we love that. And so when you're dating, it's easier than it is in marriage to really have this clear target. I'm going to win this woman's heart. I'm going to get to the honeymoon night, right? Like we have this clear focus of, I'm going to win this woman's heart. I'm going to get married. I'm going to get to the honeymoon. And we have this focus that is really helping to drive everything else in that relationship. So I dress nicely. I talk kindly. Really put my best foot forward. That's dating. Dating is often the best version of a man that a woman ever gets, which is really sad, but it's true, because a man has a clear aim. If I don't look right, if I don't dress right, she's not going to want to be with me. If I'm not kind and polite, if I don't open up the door, if I don't take an interest in her. And guys, listen, I know that this is true because of 20 years of counseling. I know this is true because of my own life. I know this is what we do. Women will often say I just felt so known when we were dating. We had so much fun. I felt so pursued. And then it all went to crap after we got married. Like, what happened? We forget that for men, listen, guys, marriage isn't the target. The target isn't to get married. The target isn't to have sex. The target isn't her boobs and her vagina. The target is building a deeply connected relationship. And when we're thinking about marriage and becoming a man who knows how to lead a marriage really well, you have to go back to, what is your aim? What is it that you're constantly aiming at? Because whatever you're aiming at ultimately becomes the target that you're going to hit. And so again, going back to this analogy, we aim so much to get married, and that's a massive goal. We aim to have sex and to be connected sexually together. I know that was for sure one of my massive drivers in getting married. I want to get married because I want to have sex. I want to be sexually connected to a woman, and that's not evil at all. But then we get married, and after you get married, men, oftentimes for us men, the target changes, right? I get married and then I go, what is my career about? Or how do I grow in my career and into supporting my family? That's, again, isn't evil, but that often becomes our main place where we are aiming, where we feel powerful. And so we build these big businesses, or we grow our wealth and income, and that becomes our pursuit. Think about our pursuit. That becomes our main pursuit as men. And we have this target of growing and building, and our time gets budgeted out around how can I be a successful man financially for my family and support my family. Well, of course, again, the big challenge is that the target was never supposed to be, how can I make a bunch of money? How can I financially support my family? That's a target. But the main target for you as a man is, first, how do I establish a deeply connected ecosystem inside of my home in which everything can thrive? Just follow me with this. The greatest thing that you can have in a relationship, inside of a marriage, and for your family, the greatest need for a family, do you know what it is? Put it in the comment, like pause this and put it in the comments if you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not, just say it out loud right now. What do you think the most important thing for you in order to have your marriage and your family thrive? All right, I'm going to tell you. In order for your family and marriage to thrive, you have to have a bubble of emotional safety and connection around your home, around your relationship. It's going to make a lot of sense in a minute. Think about this. You have to have a bubble of emotional protection and safety, of deep connection and safety. Think about the home that you grew up in. Did your home that you grew up in have that protection? When you were in your home, what's it mean? When I go into that bubble, I feel safe. I feel seen. I feel known. I feel cared for. I feel believed in. I feel unconditionally loved and nurtured, right? I can show up and I know that I'm believed in and cared for. That bubble of emotional safety. When you get into an environment like that, if that wasn't your home life, think about an environment that you grew up in that was like that. When you go into that environment, all of a sudden, I don't have to lie. Why do we lie? We lie to protect ourselves from what? From punishment, from the environment. I don't have to hide. Why do we hide? We hide to protect ourselves. Why am I selfish? I'm selfish because I don't think that my needs are going to get met. I want to try to self-protect and get my needs met, right? All the things that begin to break down relationship have come out of environments where there wasn't a bubble of emotional connection. So the main target, right? As a man who's either just getting married or a man who's been married for a long time, my main target is to continually build this ecosystem that has emotional safety, emotional connection, emotional care first and foremost in there. Now, that requires that I do conflict really well. It requires that I do healthy boundaries. There's no emotional safety if we don't do conflict. Think about a home or a business that you've been in where they don't do conflict. They're just passive. It's like, well, conflict is so necessary. A home without conflict is a home where people are constantly walking on eggshells. We're always wondering where we stand. Contrary to that is, think about an environment where people love you in the midst of their disagreements. All of a sudden, I can really be me. I can feel seen. I can feel known. I can feel safe. You don't feel safe, seen, and known in a environment where you don't do conflict. Okay. So when we get married, our target has to grow from, man, I can't wait to get married and build a family and have sex and be physically and emotionally connected, to, all right, the next target is I have to build this ecosystem of emotional safety and connection. And that's done through a ton of different ways. I don't even think it's important for me to go into every single aspect of building that. It's, again, found in our way that we do boundaries. It's found in our way that uh, I communicate. It's found in the way that I pursue my wife. The main important thing is that as a husband, and this is the question I want you to ask yourself is, am I building? Am I the leader? Am I the chief leader in building emotional connection and safety in my home? Do my kids feel safe, seen, and known? Does my wife feel safe, seen, and known? Do we feel emotionally connected? If not, then your home, your marriage is a ship at sea in the midst of whatever storm wants to come, wherever the wind wants to blow. There is no anchor. The challenge becomes your role as a man is to bring peace to chaos. You can see that over and over and over again. We could see that in Genesis. When God is creating mankind, when he's creating the heavens and the earth, it says the earth was formless and void. Those words there mean deep darkness, right? There was chaos. If you actually look into the original language, the earth was chaotic. There was all this chaos going on. There was deep darkness. There was this chaos. As you go through Genesis, I would challenge you to read it. Go through Genesis 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, 1:4, 1:5, 1:6. Genesis 26, God puts man on the earth. What happens? God is taking these things that are chaotic. He separates time from day. He separates dark from night. He separates water from land. He's creating all these different things in order to establish order, perfect order. So what God is our model, right? God, our Father, is our model. So God comes in and he starts to create and establish order from chaos. That's what he's doing. He's separating all these things. He doesn't bring man into the picture in Genesis 6 when the earth is still chaotic, when there's no animals on there, when there's no plants. He doesn't have Adam floating through outer space. He doesn't have Adam swimming endlessly in the ocean. He also doesn't have him standing on an island of dry land with nothing on it. He's actually going through and he's creating order and structure from chaos. We finally get down to the place where God's put animals, God's put water, there's time, and then he puts Adam and Eve, he puts Adam onto in the garden, and then when he does it, he gives Adam a bunch of direction. He says, Adam, here's your job. Be fruitful, multiply, cultivate the land, name the animals, be a ruler, right? Rule and reign, take responsibility, own this place, create an ecosystem of what? Of order. He actually gave Adam the responsibility, he gave man the responsibility to come in here and to continue to grow, to build, to maintain, and to create an ecosystem of health. So our job, men, inside of marriage has always been the same. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to bring peace to chaos. Okay, so you can also say that any area of our life that we don't confront, that we don't show up in, we have chaos in. Any area of my life that I'm not coming in and bringing order to is also, I'm allowing chaos to thrive there. And so what it requires me as a man is it requires me to come in and to go, okay, I avoid conflict with my wife. Guess what the fruit of that is? It's chaos. It's not peace. In the short term, peace, but peace isn't the goal. Deep emotional connection, safety is the goal. I come in, I avoid my finances because it stresses me out. Okay, guess what the fruit of that is? It's chaos. You don't have to be the one that's the best suited. In my relationship with Lauren, I'm actually not the best one that's over our finances. I'm not the best one at handling our finances, but I am the one that is chief responsible. I am the one that is ultimately responsible to make sure that our finances are being managed, to make sure that we have an aim for those finances, that our aim for those finances are godly, right? That they're fruitful, that we're investing, sowing, that we're not expecting to reap something that we haven't sown. I'm also going into the different area that our kids, right? I may not be the best person always suited for every age of my kids. There are times where my wife has better ideas on how to parent, or she has a better capacity to nurture our little tiny baby. Okay, cool. It's still my number one responsibility. It's my responsibility that our kids are taken care of properly. And so doing e-courses, reading books, parenting books, um, being the first one to go, hey, we need help. We don't have a clear direction for our family. Hey, our kids are, Edie's having a really hard time right now. Our kids are out of order. Like, we need help. I have to be the one that's ultimately responsible for that. And here's why, is when a woman feels unsafe in the relationship, it puts her in a place where she's now playing the masculine role. She's having to self-protect or be in charge. Now, am I saying that a woman can't protect herself? I'm not saying that. Am I saying that a woman shouldn't be in charge of anything and you should rule over her? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're going to be better at everything than her. I am saying that the original design was that the man would lead the woman and be responsible, that you would carry the burden and the weight of responsibility, and that she would partner with you in that you would lead and she would be a partner, which again means there's lots of areas where your wife's going to be better suited. It's still your job to be the leader. In order to be the leader, I don't have to be the most knowledgeable or the best. I just have to be responsible. So when a woman feels unsafe, I'll give you a couple examples. I was counseling a couple a year ago, and the relationship was really, really stressed and challenged. And she said something that made me go, this makes a lot of sense. She said, when he comes home every day, I don't know how he's going to come home. I don't know how he's going to walk in the door. I'm never sure if he's going to come in and be frustrated. I don't know if he's going to come in and want to connect with me. I don't know. And so guess what? What version of her does he get? Think about this. What version of her does he get? Is she going to come vulnerable and open and nurturing and ready to receive him? Or is she going to come guarded? Is he going to receive a woman that's guarded, that's self-protecting, that's cold, that's closed off every single time? And he made this comment. He said, she's different with her girlfriends than she is with me. And I'm like, yeah, 100%. Want to know why? Because a woman will never thrive in unpredictability. She wasn't meant to do it. Now, we're going back to like, there's going to be a woman that says, I'm fine with unpredictable things. Great, cool. That's awesome. It wasn't designed like that. You weren't designed to be in a relationship that is where you don't know how you're going to be treated, where you don't know if you can rely on your partner to show up for you emotionally. You weren't designed to live that way. And men, in order for your wife to play her role, okay, what's a woman's role? Is to be nurturing. You give her a seed, a sperm, she grows and nurtures a baby. You give her a house, she gives you a home. You give her supplies, she gives you a meal, right? You give her ingredients, she makes you a meal. A wife is creative. She was meant to incubate. She was meant to be incredibly open and vulnerable and soft and compassionate, and to be able to live inside of what we would call her feminine, right? Where she is emotional. You are too, but she's able to come in and to add a bunch of tender nurture, care. Your relationship, your marriage, you will never receive that if you are not the anchor in predictability, if you don't lead in safe, seen, known, if you don't lead in, I have created this ecosystem of emotional connection, of emotional safety. So what does this mean? My wife knows that she can have a really tough day. She can be on her period and she can freak out a bit. She knows, Lauren knows 100% what my response is going to be every time. Why? Because for the last 14 years, my response is the same every time. There's been a time in our relationship where Lauren got so frustrated, she went, "Ugh," and she hit me like that, right? So if you're watching this, it's like a sideways, fist hit to the chest. Okay. Was Lauren trying to beat me up? No. Is that the right thing to do when you're angry? Not at all. But it's what happened. We were in a heated conversation. She got really frustrated and she hits me. When that happens, sorry, that's not me crying. That's just my voice. I realize, oh, shoot. My job, my role has now changed. I'm no longer trying to solve this conflict. I need to protect her and me in this relationship. So I got out of bed. We were in bed. I got out of bed. I stood up and said, "Hey, love, um, I, I know that this conversation's tough. I know that you're frustrated right now, even angry. I can't do this conversation like this. I can't. I'm going to go downstairs and tie some flies for fly fishing and let me know whenever you're ready to have the conversation. I'm super happy to come back up, but I can't do it like this." So I went downstairs. She texted me like 10 minutes later. Now, because my goal is emotional connection, emotional safety, when I came back upstairs, I didn't give her this lecture about how it's not okay to hit me and how she's right. I didn't. I said, "Hey, love, again, I know that in this conversation, you feel super angry, super frustrated. I also know that I contributed to that. I can't have you hit me because we can't have that be the standard. So I want to hear where you're at. I want to hear what's going on in you. I want to hear what's hard for you. I want to hear the painful, even what I did, but I can't do it. I can't do it with this like that. So are you cool if we come back to the conversation? And are you able to manage yourself in this?" I didn't shame her. I didn't put her down. Okay. Years of being able to do that. If Lauren were sitting here right now, she would laugh and she would say, "He is so much better at managing himself when he's angry, when he feels upset inside the relationship." Why is that? Because I have realized that's my role. Now, it doesn't give her permission to be out of control, but I've realized there's a different level of responsibility that she carries versus what I carry to set the tempo, the tone, and to create the emotional safety. It's my job to be able to show up and handle whatever range of emotion she's in as her husband. I'm going to show up and do that. Doesn't mean I don't have needs. It doesn't mean I don't set boundaries, but it's my job. I should be able to go, "Okay, hold on. I love you. This feels crazy. I want to feel connected. This doesn't feel like it's going to work." It's my job to be able to do that. When we flip it around, man, when my wife doesn't know what she's going to expect, all of a sudden we are a ship at sea in the middle of a storm. You are no longer the emotional anchor you are no longer the anchor in the marriage. Your marriage has no anchor to it. And you're going to up and down. You're going to go up and down and up and down, up and down, and your relationship's going to suffer. The last one that I really want to talk about before we end, and again, the conversation is how to become the anchor in the marriage. Because I think that every marriage needs an anchor. When inside of a marriage, what's so important, and I hear this a lot from men, is that you don't put your wife in a spot where she feels responsible for you. It looks like this. I feel like my wife is my mom. I feel like my wife is is controlling me. I feel like my wife is constantly telling me what to do. Okay. On one hand, that could totally just be her issue that she brought into the relationship. Great, no problem. It's still your job to step up and go, hey, I love you. I really care for you. I actually don't love when I feel controlled by you. So that'd be a great message to send. On the flip side, what I most often see is I see men being passive at home and giving up their responsibilities to lead. And therefore, their wife is having to keep track and to be the one that is getting the family to church, is getting the husband to help out around the home, is getting her husband to show up and be present for the kids, right? And as soon as we do that, it's back to you've given up your role as leader and you've made yourself a follower. And then you're angry and frustrated because you feel like you have someone that is being your mom. And the problem is, and the truth is that's your fault. Anytime you forsake your responsibility as a man in your home, your wife probably isn't just going to let that slip and slide and go like, okay, yeah, now our kids are going to suffer. She's not. It's not in her nature to let the kids suffer. And that's, again, why you see the fatherless percent, the percent of men who aren't at home, who have abandoned their kids is so high. How often do you see a woman abandon her kids? Rarely ever do you see a woman leave her kids and take off and leave the family and a single dad without the mom. It's rare. It's so rare, guys. A woman was designed. She is designed to nurture. She has such a drive to nurture. It is just in her. You don't have to tell her to nurture. It's what she naturally does. So when you forego your responsibility to show up and to take care of the marriage and to take care of the kids and to be present, she will pick up that responsibility. What it comes with is it comes with resentment. It comes with frustration. It comes with pain. It comes with anger. It comes with feeling like you're living with a nagging woman. It comes with a marriage that feels very up and down. And it goes back to, you can point your finger all you want at your wife and say, well, if she wasn't like that, then I wouldn't be like this. She's controlling. And I'm back to going, no, this is the fruit of us forgoing our responsibility as men and showing up and not just being present, but going, okay, it's my job. It's my job to remember what my responsibilities are. It's my job to lead in taking care of those responsibilities. It's not just my wife's job. And so becoming the anchor is all about being proactive. It's all about having this target, man. I just want to create this really clear picture. Your job as a man, the target that you are trying to hit with all your might, is how do I build this ecosystem of emotional connection? We are so good at painting a target on our wife's boobs, on her vagina, on her butt, and going, how do I get that? What do I have to do to get that thing? I have friends who are willing to go to counseling if their wife will have sex with them. I have friends that they're willing to do all kinds of things with their wife that will have sex with them. I'm like, no, that's the wrong target, guys. We have the wrong target. And therefore the relationship, the marriage is very up and down. The target has to be clear, man. You need a super clear target to have a really, really healthy marriage. And that target is to create an ecosystem of emotional health and connection, where your wife can come into the environment, where you can walk into the environment to feel safe, seen, and known, to feel loved and cared for. That's going to require you to confront chaos. Any area where there's chaos, your bad communication skills, your overworking problems, your depression, your whatever that chaos is, your kids that are out of control. I've had kids that are out of control. It's our job to go and to continue to, okay, how do I hit this target? How do I bring people into my life to give me feedback in areas that I'm weak? How do I show up and grow a marriage that's healthy? Guys, this is This is just an incredibly important conversation for us and a major stepping stone into building a healthy marriage. So hopefully this helped for you. Please feel free to share it. Feel free to subscribe to our podcast if you haven't. Leave a comment, it helps. But more importantly, this week, men, show up in your homes. Ask yourself the question, what area of my life is bringing chaos into my marriage that I need to confront and bring a bunch of peace so that we can build this emotional safety and connection. Men, stay brave out there. I'll see you next week. Hey, BraveCo men. Hopefully you loved this week's episode. Listen, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, you are already behind. Go ahead and click right here to subscribe to our podcast. And if you have not watched last week's episode, you can click right here and watch last week's episode. And listen, if you want to upgrade your wardrobe, you can check out some of our new hats that we have in stock and all our other swag. Go to braveco.org and you can look at our store there. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.